Hello, welcome to a Chip Off the Old Block Toys. This is Jeff here, and today is a special live stream. This is a live stream, as most of you will know, is the LEGO Community Stream, 72-hour stream, and I'm just taking 1 hour of that. And basically, the purpose of this is to highlight some smaller channels that do Legos. And so, this is the middle of a project here, and this is what I'm doing is I'm building the original Ultimate Collector Series Millennium Falcon, which is set number 10179. This is the 5th live stream for this, and this is as far as we've gotten here. I have pieces laid out to continue this, and I will depart a little bit from my normal live streams in that I know that several of the people here don't know much about me, so I will talk a little bit about myself. Set this aside. And I'm going to flip over to the other screen where I have the instructions here. Thanks for joining me. I hope you're all having a good day. And we're going to be building the very top, middle, round part of the bottom and the top of the Millennium Falcon right now. A little bit about myself. Let's see. Well, I can claim I was born in California, but other than that, I can't claim much. My dad was in the military, so if those who are military brats knows exactly what that means. So it's kind of a little bit about me. I grew up in a larger family for our day and age. 5 kids. I'm the 4th out of 5, so I'm not the youngest, but I'm at the tail end of it. And let's see. I currently live in southern Idaho. I moved here only about 3 months ago. I am married. I have 4 kids. They're all grown, 2 grandchildren, and my wife is also in the military. We've been married 25 years. As she will tell you if she's on here. She said she was going to try to join us this morning, so anyway, she is a common fixture to my live streams. And let's see. Hello, Brick Pasta. Hello, Brick Sergeant. Secret Squirrels Bricks. And that's funny because my lug is called Nut Lug, and our motto or mascot is a squirrel. Hello, Ingrid and Stud Sidious. I like that name. That's cool. Kind of a play off of Star Wars there. And Ian and Dusty Bricks. And is that Bunna Bricks? Butt Chop, hello. Jen, John, and Brick Songs. Thank you. All right. Yeah, it was cool growing up with other siblings. You know, I'll tell you, it was kind of funny because I'm the only boy, and so in school, because I was a 4th out of 5, sometimes I got picked on. Not very often, but I did. And I can remember one time in particular, this one kid, I won't use his name, but he was being rather rude and picking on me. And my sister, who was 18 months older than me, she gave him a royal ass beating. Excuse my language, but she did. And from there on out, it was kind of funny because then I could say he got his butt kicked by a girl. And he didn't like that at all, but he didn't do anything after that. So thank goodness for older sisters, huh? So yeah, it had its perks. And the military life, you know, growing up in it, I've heard some people say they don't like it. I'll be honest with you, I absolutely loved it. Growing up in the military life. Wait a minute. So I got a message from the wife just now saying she doesn't see the live stream, but I thought I saw her on here. Oh no, I have not seen her on here. Okay, well, Ingrid says, Chip off the old block. Now you're famous on YouTube, so you can now show them. And Stud Acidia says, I was one of 5 myself, 2 older sisters, 2 younger brothers, but I got hungry and ate one of my brothers. Well, all right. You know, kind of a funnier story is that my my sister, who's younger than me, it took, I had troubles adjusting because I was 4 when she came around. And so I was used to being the center of attention. And then when she came around, it was kind of rough for me to adjust. And I remember being kind of mean to her. Now, we get along just fine now that we're older. But growing up, I was not very nice brother to her. And it wasn't her fault either. She's actually a really good person. But you know, sometimes you just have trouble adjusting. Alright, so let's see, how is this going? Okay, so yeah, I have to do this twice because one's on top of the Millennium Falcon, one's on the bottom. And let's see. For some reason... Oh, there it goes. I'm not always the greatest thinking on my feet, I can tell you that right now. But yeah, I started my channel right when COVID hit. And I did it because, well, I wasn't sure what was going to happen. And I wanted to, you know, not be so bored and all that. So I found a camera on sale, purchased it, and started the channel. And at first, I didn't know what I was doing. And sometimes I still don't feel like I know what I'm doing. But I decided that I was going to make the best of a situation and share my love of Legos with people. And that's really what my channel is all about. It's just the love of Lego. So you'll see me doing live streams, building old sets, new sets, MOCs. You'll see me do a whole bunch of different things just because, again, the idea here is just to promote the love of Lego, and I just messed up. And so my favorite thing to do is MOCs. When I was in my old house, I had a MOC going that was a city MOC, and it was huge. But since the move, I don't have the space right now, this moment, to continue building a city MOC. And that's only because the previous owners are, even though I've been here 3 months now, have not cleared out the shop that I bought. With this house came a 2,400 square foot shop, and that was really the reason I bought this property, so I could have a Lego, like, I don't know what you want to call it, dedicated Lego area, whatever that's called. And, well, they haven't vacated that shop yet, so, yeah, I know, I've heard a lot of different things from a lot of different people that it shouldn't be happening, and it shouldn't, and that's why there's some ongoing legal proceedings. That's really about all I could say. But hopefully, if everything goes right, I will have the shop shortly, and I can continue my quest and sharing my love for Legos. So let's see here. Oh, she's right there, Mrs. Chip Chip. She's on here. All right. Secret Squirrel, did you say I lost your wife in life? Yeah, I might have. You never know, right? He was a pest. So organized, making us all look messy. Sorry, Ingrid. I think. Okay, I'll tell you a funny story, and since my wife's on here, she can verify this. When we lived in Germany, and that was 2008, 2011, which her career in the Army has taken us a lot of different places, by the way. But we were in Germany, and I started buying these cabinets, Stack-On. And Stack-On doesn't make any anymore. They just stick to gun safes and stuff like that these days. But back in the day, they were making those little cabinets, little nuts and bolts cabinets that Acro Mills has. And I I was using my little bit of allowance money that I get, and I was buying those cabinets as I could afford them. And I remembered when I finished buying all the cabinets I needed, and I remember I had them all lined up, and I had the pieces alphabetized by color and then by type of part. And I went off the Bricklink catalog for that. And I remember being so proud of myself, spending all that time having it organized, because now when I needed a piece, well, my goodness, I could find it so fast. And it was just, I thought it was just an awesome accomplishment. And, my wife had to let me down gently. And, and when I showed her this, I said, honey, I'm really happy my OCD kicked in, and look what it did. I'm able to now have all this. And when she saw it, she looked at me and she goes, oh no, honey, that is not OCD right there. That is CDO. Because you have OCD so bad that even the letters in the disorder have to be alphabetized. And so from here on out, my family, my kids especially, my 4 kids, have all kind of picked that up. And I have CDO in this family. I don't have OCD. So just a finer distinction of life here. And I don't mean to make fun of anybody who actually does have the actual disorder. Please understand it's just a joke, and it's not meant to make fun of anybody. It's meant to make fun of me, which I don't mind. That is one thing that I really did enjoy having my kids, is that we have a really good relationship. We tease each other. Sometimes you might even think that we don't like each other because of the way we tease each other, but we do. And it's always a lot of fun. And I do keep in touch with my kids. In fact, even though they're all adults, I've spoken to all of them but one this week, and I've spoken to my granddaughter as well. The other granddaughter is only 3 months old, so there's not much talking with her. But yeah, just letting you know, I do keep in touch with them, and they're good kids. They really are. They make me proud. And I'm really happy that my love of Legos has spilled over to my kids. My one daughter, I won't use her name, but she's the second oldest. She really, really loves Legos. In fact, she collects them. Not quite to the point that I do, but she does collect them, and that makes me happy. And of course, her daughter, who's 4, also collects them. And for the longest time, my granddaughter used to call me Grandpa Legos, which of course made me extremely proud. I mean, come on, who wouldn't that make proud? But anyway, she doesn't call me Grandpa Legos anymore. She just calls me Grandpa. I guess I lost my good title, but whatever. Good kid though. Smart kid. And my other daughter, who's the youngest daughter but the third oldest kid, she also collects Legos. So, oh hey, Ghost Green Man, coming from Germany. How you doing, man? And what age did I start being nice to her? I started being nice to her as an adult. I'll admit. Throughout high school, I was quite the brat. Where's your family stationed? Mostly California. I'll tell you a quick story. Well, not really that quick, but I'll tell you why. Yes, military families usually move around more often than mine did, but my mother was deaf. And I don't mean hard of hearing, I mean actual deaf. And because she was deaf, the military didn't like moving us around that much. And plus we had 5 kids, so it was kind of expensive, right? So we mostly stayed in California. In fact, we were stationed in the Bay Area, California 3 times. And all 3 of those times at the same base. And my family was also stationed in Hawaii as well, and Tennessee. I wasn't around for Tennessee. Tennessee was before my time as in that family. So, but we were stationed mostly, we were stationed in Hawaii twice too. And one of those times was before my time. So, I don't really count that, but yeah. We were stationed in a variety of places. But yeah, my mom was deaf, and even though my mom was deaf, she did not take any crap from anybody. I'll tell you that right now. My mom love her to pieces, but that's one thing about her. She will not take your crap. And so I really respect her for that, because, you know, being a deaf mom with 5 kids could have gone a lot different, and it didn't. I mean, when there was a problem, my mom grabs the bull by the horns, let me tell you. So I really, really respect her for that. And I have a really good relationship with my mom and dad. They're both still together. They've been married 58 years now. And my parents host a party once a month. And we go down and we celebrate every anniversary, birthday, that kind of thing that happened. Graduations, you know, you name it. And it's not always at my parents' house. We kind of switch siblings' house, whose is that, you know. But the good news is I get to see my family every single month. We did take a couple months off because of COVID, but we're back to doing it again. And I mean, we only took a couple months off. We didn't take very long. So we all still keep in touch. My parents have, I think it's 17 grandchildren and like 9 great-grandchildren. So anyway. All right, so we've gotten this far, and then now we need to build, there's like this little ring that goes around these. So we need to build 2 of those. So I'm going to set these right here. And I'm going to get back to the comments here because I have to switch between screens. In all seriousness, it was fun having it. Well, it is. And let's see. Oh, John saying hi to Miss Chip. Knowing what you're doing is overrated. Yeah, yeah, probably is. Oh, I lost some comments. Let's see. Just imagine a Lego Slenderman. That'd be actually cool. My son, he's the youngest. He would love it. He would. He used to love Slenderman. Never know how the pieces. Yeah, my family is so chaotic, so I assume that's why they had 5 children. Yeah, well, mine too. God bless people with 5 children or more kids. I don't know how my parents did. I don't either. You know, it was funny. I was in church. I'm not too active in church anymore, but I used to be really into church. And back when I was, we had this. There was this lady who. She said to me, and this was when my wife went to basic training. My wife went to basic training when I was 32, and she was 30. And anyway, I had all 4 kids, and they were my responsibility full time because, well, my wife was gone in the military. So a lady at church came up to me and she says, you know, 4 kids all by yourself all day long, I don't know how you do it. And I remember my response. I was trying to be funny, but I think she took me serious, and I told her, I said, you know something? I said, some days I don't do it. And I said, some days you'll find me in the corner of my room crying for an hour just because of what the kids did. And I was just joking. That lady's eyes got big as saucers, and then she offered help to help with the kids. And I was trying not to laugh at her because I was just joking around, but she took me serious, I think. So, anyway, having kids is fun, but yes, it's a lot of responsibility. And I heard from my second oldest daughter recently that one of her favorite memories of me is the fact that I used to keep a Nerf football, and I used to keep it in the van, and we had this van for like 14 years. You know, with having 4 kids, I just didn't have any money for the longest time, as you can imagine. I can't remember who it was, but there used to be a financial planner on the radio, and he used to say, you have money or you have kids. Well, I had 4 kids, so you know what I didn't have. So I had a Nerf football. I used to keep it in the van, and this van, we used to work on it. And like I said, I used to be pre-church going guy, so we used to call the van Lazarus. And that's because I used to raise it from the dead. Over 14 years, that thing died so many times. And actually, a true story is when I finally got rid of it, I was working on it just about every other weekend. And I was working on it every other weekend to keep it alive. And it was what finally got it was electrical problems. And I just didn't want to trace the electrical problem. And I had to keep charging the battery just so I can run it, and if I was somewhere too long, I wouldn't have a functioning van when I get out. But that wasn't her favorite memory. Her favorite memory was the fact that I used to keep that Nerf football in the van, and I was known to, when we were driving around, sometimes I would just see an open field, and we would randomly stop, and we'd throw the football around. And my daughter said that was one of her favorite memories, is how I used to be spontaneous like that. And she now tells me I'm not spontaneous at all, that I'm just a crusty old man, mean old cuss. No, she doesn't say that about me. She might, just not to my face. But anyway. Yeah, having kids is just awesome. And it's even more awesome now that they're grown and I'm not responsible for them. But I didn't say that, did I? Nah, I didn't say that. Nah, never. Sure. Alright, let me get back to some comments here, since this is all about the same here. And let's see, just imagine, yes, chaotic. Maybe they'll just keep trying till they got one they liked. Well, yeah, it's true, but it wouldn't have been me because I was the last one. I'm just kidding here. And let's see. They had my brothers as toys for me to beat up on. That could be true. And actually, my younger brother used to knock me around with all kinds of stuff if I shaved my head, all scars from the stitches he gave me. Oh, wow. Yeah, I've got some battle marks, too. Some battle wounds from being a kid. No, I'm just kidding. It's not that dramatic. Just joking around. You should make a Lego MOC. I am, actually. This right here is going to be part of a MOC. The ship itself is not going to be a MOC. However, I'm building docking bay 327, which is the docking bay that the Millennium Falcon was pulled into by the tractor beam in the original movie A New Hope. Which I have, even after all these years, they've changed it to A New Hope. I just think of it as Star Wars because I grew up with it being Star Wars. In fact, believe it or not, I was around when Star Wars was first released. So anyway, I'm not trying to give away my age or anything, but yeah, I've been around for a little bit. I'll just put it that way. And you're really organized. Thank you. Agreement. I am working on that MOC, and that's for a show. And I need to clarify that. I am part of a Lego lug group here. It's actually in northern Utah, and that's because that's where I lived last, and I still live close enough. I'm barely into Idaho. I'm like the second or third exit into Idaho, so I'm not very far. So I stay in the same group, and they usually make you wait a year of being a member to ask you to build something and display it at shows. But because I have a YouTube channel and they're able to see the kind of work that I do, I was invited early, even though I've only been a member since January and now it's July. I was invited last month to start participating. So the docking bay 327 that I'm building is exactly for that reason. And yes, it's going to have some of the classic scenes like the trash compactor, turbo lasers, and it's going to have the command room where there's a bad transmitter and that kind of stuff. So yeah, definitely going to work on it and doing my best to do all that. So anyway, if you stick around, actually go screaming, I'm sorry, I know you'll stick around, you've been a regular on my channel, but as you stick around, you'll see more and more of that being built. Alright, let me just attach these. And sometimes I'm just not good at thinking on my feet, like I've already said. That's probably another reason why I have things pre-laid out, because I don't think of things too well when I'm all, got too much going on. And I'm going to blame my bad memory on having 4 kids, not my age, by the way. Okay, let's see. Let's go back to comments here. Does everyone just want to mess it up? I'm sure my cat does. In fact, I'll tell you a story. One time when I was doing this, my cat thought it was a good idea to climb up here. And my cat is no small cat. He's 20 pounds right now, but he's been up to 22 pounds. He's a real big guy, but he still gets around. And he climbed onto my chair that I'm sitting on while I was sleeping. Then he climbed up here on the table. And because of his weight, he knocked over the table when I had this all set up, because I spent the day, before doing all this for my live stream. Boy, I tell you what, that cat, if he had 9 lives, he spent them all right there. Because I was so upset with him for doing that. Because it takes a while. Sometimes I can do this as quick as an hour. Sometimes it takes 2 or 3, depending on, exactly what I've got going on. And, because my kids are grown, you'll see, I'll be video chatting or just calling them on the phone a lot. So if that's going on, it takes me a lot longer because I got to think about the conversation. So, yeah, the cat does mess it up. And in fact, last night, that was the reason why, even though I really don't like him in my room when I'm sleeping, because I had this all set up, I carried him with me in the room before he went to sleep and made sure that he didn't have access to this area. The last thing I want to do is wake up and see this thing all trashed up, because he will trash it. So, good cat, but boy, he's ornery. And he's very demanding too. My goodness, he will let you know if he doesn't feel he's getting enough attention. So, he doesn't have to speak, but you know exactly what's on his mind. And for being a 4-legged little feline, oh boy. Love the guy though. But it's not even my cat. My son moved out and left him here, so kind of inherited him. And it was real funny because when my son was here, that cat did not like me. That cat did not like me at all. That cat used to hiss at me. And it was funny because I never went after him. He would just hiss at me. In fact, there were times where it's dark and I would be walking around the house, trying to get everything prepared so I could go to bed. And I would turn off the lights and make the final journey to my bedroom. And I would hear something hiss at me in the dark. And I'm thinking to myself, if you would have just stayed quiet, cat, I wouldn't even known you were there. So because I didn't even know you were there is like an obvious sign that I'm not even after you. But, you can't talk sense into a cat. I do wish you could, but you just can't. And if for those who are cat owners, why is it that cats, if they look at their food bowl, and even though it's like mostly full, there's this tiny little circle in the middle, they can see the bottom, why do they act like it's empty? And why do they cry at you like it's empty? I'm just curious, but you all know what I'm talking about. Another thing I've noticed about cats is when they walk across the floor, even though you just barely cleaned it, they'll walk around and the way they put their paws down is like, oh, it's so dirty, I don't want to touch it. Anyway, sorry, that's cats. And let's go back to some comments here. Jeff was a very good dad and supporter. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that, Miss Chip. It's impressive. I wish I rolled out parts like that. Share to 4 social media platforms, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. And thank you, John. True Social. Don't worry, I delete the footage. Okay. Like and sub. Thanks, Brett. I appreciate that, man. So was I, but I just subbed. Thank you, Brick Sergeant. I do appreciate that. And yeah, Brick Sergeant, we've kind of crossed paths here on some Yetis and Cliff's streams. I hope to see more of those. And I do like your projects you've been doing. The ones you've showed me, I think, are cool. I hope to see more of that. And actually, I like to see everyone's builds. Hey, look, I know that I'm not the master builder, so you guys got something. I am more than wanting to see your Lego projects. I think that they're really cool, and like I said, I just have a affinity for Legos. Been collecting them for over 40-something years, and yeah, I think there's so many cool builds out there. And Cabbage Face Bricks, hi. Cats are smart. We work for them, not the other way around. And there is actually a joke about that. The difference between cats and dogs? Well, the difference is dogs, they see you feed them, they see you give them attention, and they think you're a god. Cats look at you, they feed you, they see you pay attention to them, and they think we must be the gods, meaning themselves. So that's the difference between cats and dogs, y'all, if you didn't know that already. And yes, on my channel, one of my themes is bad jokes. I do tell a lot of dad jokes. I like them, number one. Number two, I can't tell the jokes I want to tell because, well, YouTube would definitely kick me off their platform quicker than anything you've ever seen. So I have to be careful about my jokes. And, you know, as you can imagine, growing up in a military family and then my wife being in a military, so basically I've been in a military family my whole entire life. About the only thing I know are jokes that are inappropriate for YouTube. So I can't really tell them. I gotta be, you know, I gotta be very careful. So anyway, I like to tell other jokes that aren't so bad. And, well, they're bad, but they're not YouTube bad. Let's put it that way. And one of those is, do you know what a microchip called its parent, or is oh gosh, I messed that one up. Shoot. I'll come back to that. Sorry. I don't, like I said, I don't do very well thinking on my feet, and this went in too far. So let me pull this back out. But, you know, dumb jokes like, you know, why'd the stoplight turn red? The answer is you would too if you had to change the middle of the street. Anyway, and jokes like, what does the mayonnaise say to the refrigerator? And the answer is, close the door, I'm dressing. Those are kind of jokes I like to tell because, well, they sound like they come from a Laffy Taffy rapper, if they still do that. I don't even know. I haven't bought Laffy Taffy in years. But, yeah, it sounds like it comes from there, and plus, YouTube can't give me a community strike on that, so that's why I do that. Okay, well, let's go ahead and place this. And these are the turbo laser guns that the Millennium Falcon has. And if you've kept up with the Star Wars universe in the books, you would know that the Millennium Falcon is not supposed to have turbo lasers. It's illegal for this type of ship. But it has it anyway, and actually it has many illegal weapons, according to the Star Wars canon books. Okay, I am supposed to stick this on the Millennium Falcon. I'm going to pass for now, and that's because I don't want to lift this thing up. I'm going to end up with back problems. I'm just kidding. It's not that bad, but still, you get my point. It's heavy, and I will do all of that towards the end. And I have to say, this stream is moving along for me, and can't believe we've already been at this over 30 minutes. Pretty cool. Yeah, and you know, speaking of family that we were talking about earlier, I was actually talking to my dad about this this last time I saw him. You know, he served in the military 21 years and 19 days, but he always says, "Who's counting?" And that's kind of his dad jokes he likes to tell. That's where I probably got it from. But anyway, we were talking about that, and my dad's now almost 80. And I pointed out to him, I said, you know, you retired when you were 38. So that means that you actually spent more time out of the military than you did in the military. And, you know, it's really amazing because, you know, he served his country. And the next thing you know... Oh, wait a minute, I'm not doing this right. Oh, I'm only building one of these. I'm like, oh boy, I didn't get enough pieces. Well, yeah, because the last one was ×2. So yeah, he spent more time out of the military than in the military, but he's got a retirement check ever since he's been out. So we were talking about that and what a blessing that is in his life. And oh, these shows that I go to. I was talking about. I forgot to mention this. One of the reasons I really like going to these shows is because I get to see my dad. A lot of these shows that I go to, not all of them, but most of them, they overlap with the model railroad community. And my dad's been doing model railroading as long as I can remember. And so it was actually on a trip at one of the shows that he was at, that I was helping volunteer last year, that I found the lug that I'm in now. I didn't join them right away, but I eventually did join them, and I met them there at a show, and I just went over there and talked to them. And funny story, I know I told this one yesterday, but I know a lot of you weren't on my stream, so I'll tell the story again. I met Jim, and Jim, his wife is the president of our lug. Anyway, long story short on that is that him and I were talking about Lego sets, and I told him I really like Legos, and he goes, "Really? How many sets do you have?" And I told him that I thought I had 1,300, which was about right for the time. And he says, "Oh, really? 1,300? That's just a starter kit." And I thought he was being kind of, a jerk when he said that. And then I went to the first lug meeting, which was at his house, and he showed me his basement and a couple rooms upstairs, and I realized, oh my goodness, this guy is right. That is just a starter kit, because Jim and Tammy, Jim and Tammy Baker, if you guys know who they are in the U.S., or who they were, because they're not together anymore. I tease them about that, but anyway, he's got a lot of Lego, and he was correct. 1,300 sets is just a starter kit. So one of these days, I'm going to go on Rebrickable, I think it is, and I'm going to put in all my sets to see where I'm at worldwide, because they'll tell you where you're at as far as the size of your Lego collection. One of these days I'll do that, but for right now, not really interested. But 1,300 sets is just a starter kit. And it does just hang off like that. Okay, well then it'll just hang off like that. I didn't think it did. This is only the second time I'm putting this set together. I bought this set when it first came out in 2007. I put it together, and then actually I didn't even finish putting it together. And then my wife got orders to go to Germany, so I did not finish it. We shipped it unfinished, and of course, even if it was finished, it wouldn't have been by the time we got to Germany. And that was the case, and I had to end up basically disassembling it, starting all over. Finished it in Germany, and when her 3 years were up in Germany, I went ahead and disassembled it, stuck it in a box, and it's been in a box ever since. So because I needed something to display on these shows, I decided to break it out and do this. And I'm not the first one to come up with the idea of doing Docking Bay 327. In fact, if you look online, you'll see some other MOCs. And I did not get the idea from somebody else. I got it from just, thinking about it. And then I did some searching, and I found these other MOCs. And some of them have similar ideas to what I have. And, that's just because everyone's seen the movie. So, like, the trash compactor is going to be a common feature among this thing, those kind of MOCs. But mine will be unique as well. I'm not going to copy just one person and call it mine. Actually, I'm very much against doing that. And I'm going to get to the comments here as soon as I'm done putting about 5 more pieces on here. Alright, let's see. Oh, lots of comments. Cats were servants to them. What's good, Brett's Builds? Chip, tell your wife hello from Battle Buddy. I have a great respect for service members as retired. Okay. And actually, Brick Sergeant, she is on here. Mrs. Chip is the wife. Is that the Ultimate Collector Series Falcon? There were so many Falcons. Yes, this is. This is the first version, 2007. And hi, Mrs. Bricks. I always like your name. I think that's a great play on words, and that's awesome. And John says, I'm surprised more of these people you meet at the show are not here on the stream with you. Well, actually, today they are. And hopefully going forward. But my schedule is kind of chaotic. I just do it when I can, so it's not regular. And hello, Miss Bricks. And I'm still here and lurking because I'm watching the baby. Hey, cool. How old's the baby, if you don't mind me asking? And I like your underground. Hope you do a subway. Yes, I started a subway, but never did finish it because I moved. All right, and some back and forth. Okay, let me go back to the instructions. So this is going to be the underside, back where the main engines are. So that's what this is here. Let me go ahead and Oh, I missed a step here. Okay, no, I didn't. Okay. And I I do talk to myself on these streams. I just don't argue with myself. So, and if I start arguing with myself, it's time to quit. Just telling you. Okay, so this piece here. Okay, there it is. Okay, now I got some. My favorite theme growing up was Town for Lego, and then they came out with Star Wars, and that became my favorite theme only because I've always been a huge Star Wars fan. In fact, about 80% of my shirts, maybe even a little higher, they are all Star Wars shirts. Alright, let's do this. Alright, I feel the need for a dumb joke. Okay, here it is. What do you call a baby computer, or what does a baby computer call his father? And the answer is data. Yeah, some bad jokes. Very bad jokes. Alright, so let's throw this on here. And I do appreciate Cliff promoting this 72 hour. So Cliff, if you're watching this, or if you're watching the rewatch of this, thank you for putting this together. I do appreciate it sincerely. Sorry if it's loud when I drag them across the table. But no, I've always appreciated Cliff and Yeti. In fact, I met Cliff and Yeti. Well, I met Yeti originally because Yeti ordered from my Bricklink store. Probably about a year ago. And when he ordered from my store, I always include a little flyer that says, hey, I've got a YouTube channel. And when I did that, Yeti emailed me. And he says, so do I. You should join us sometime. So I did. And then I met, got to meet Yeti on a live stream, and then got to meet Cliff and many others. I would start naming names, but I'm probably going to forget a few. And I don't want to offend, so I will stop there and just say Cliff and Yeti. But I have met some really cool other people also on these streams. And this is where I need to pay attention because I don't want to mess this up. Boy, even though the sun's down, it's still hot in here. I'm in the attic of this. It's an attic area. It's been converted into a living area. And so it gets mighty hot up in here. And the sun's not even... Oh, okay, I see on the cameras. The security camera I've got over there. It is... Actually, the sun is coming up. So it's starting to... That's why it's starting to heat up in here, because it's starting to... The sun's starting to beat down on this place. I know. First world problems. It really is. But, hey. I don't do well in the heat, so I do pay attention, and I do feel these little subtle differences. And let me get back to the comments here. Yeah, it's 12 a.m. Oh, wow. He's good, a toddler, so falls every 5 minutes, gets into everything. So in other words, right on track. Yeah, Ingrid, that is correct. They are. And some back and forth good mornings and howdies. So what's the next step for cleaning up the previous owner? Well, John, that's because it's an ongoing issue. And I do, unfortunately, this is the first time in my life ever that I have ever involved an attorney in my life. I don't like using the legal system. I believe in trying to be an adult and work things out. However, the people I bought the home from don't seem to understand that adults work out their problems between each other. So I had to involve an attorney, had to retain him, and because of that, I can't really discuss what's going on currently. But I do promise that once I get possession of the shop, I will give an accounting of what happened. And so, yeah, updates are coming, just not right now because of the situation. But I can tell you this much: I've lived in the house almost 3 months, and there's a 2,400 square foot shop outside that is not cleared out, even though I bought the house just like everybody else does, going to a bank, getting a loan, rolling my equity from my other home into this one, which I'm actually really pleased. I was able to make enough money off the last sale of my home that I was able to roll about a third of the price of this home as equity from the other home. But as of right now, it's an ongoing issue, and I'm very tired of this ongoing issue. But in the end, I think it'll be fine. I think in the end, I'm going to end up with the possession of the shop. Obviously, I bought it. It is mine. He's got to leave. And I think that eventually that will take care of itself. But unfortunately, I got to play this right. And I can't do what I want to do, which is just outright throw him out and throw all his stuff in the street like I really want to. But anyway, believe me, if I could have done that, I would have done it already. So, yeah. Anyway, moving along. For those of you who don't know, I bought a 3-acre property here in southern Idaho about 3 months ago. This has been a dream of mine that I've been talking about for about 20 years. Sure, my wife is sick of me talking about it. And all of a sudden, I wasn't really expecting it. Things just opened up and things lined up, and the next thing I knew, I was buying this property. So, really cool stuff. Okay, I'm going to forego putting this on there because I don't want to drag the Falcon up here, and I'm just going to start on the next piece. And it looks like I laid out more pieces than what I can get to, and that's unusual for me because usually I'm cruising right along on these. But yeah, today's a little different for me. And I'm going to flip over to the comments here in a sec. I really need to get a docking station with another one. Are you thinking you going to get it done today? No. It's 80 and humid already here in Kentucky. Yeah, man. Kentucky. I actually got a soft spot in my heart for that area. I lived there from 1994 to 96. And that was before I was married. I was a young man. Didn't really know what I was doing, but I decided to end up in Kentucky, of all places. No, I'm just kidding. No, I like Kentucky actually a lot. One thing that I can say about Kentucky that I really enjoyed about my time is that people there were really nice. And they still believe in looking out for people and that kind of thing. I really did enjoy that. And, oh, why the heck did that happen? Oh, because I didn't do it right? Okay, alright. Sorry about that. No, I had a good time in Kentucky. I just remember I put my foot in my mouth once because I went over to a guy's house I didn't know very well. And like I said, people in Kentucky, they're nice. And they'll invite you in their home and have you over for dinner and stuff. Or supper, as they call it out there, or they did. And this guy, I didn't know very well, invited me over, and at dinner I decided to tell a joke, and it got me in trouble because the joke was, what do you get when you get 4 Kentucky women in the same place? Well, the answer is a full set of teeth. The only problem is, as soon as I told that joke, his wife covered her mouth, and he started cracking up. Well, from what I found out is that she had a bridge or something put in, and she was missing like 4 of her front teeth, and you wouldn't have known it because she had a bridge put in. But yeah, I kind of put my foot in my mouth on that. I shouldn't have told that joke. But I was like 19 at the time, and I should have known better, but I didn't know better. And so from here on out, I've tried to be a little more sensitive towards whatever audience I'm a part of, or so that I don't tell jokes that offend. So, but yeah, I got myself in trouble there, and I stayed in a place called Shepherdsville, Kentucky, which is about if I remember right, it was only about 20-30 minutes south of Louisville, as they call it. I always liked hearing the locals call it Louisville, you know, like kind of like a drawl. But then the people that weren't from there would call it Louisville or some other thing, and you're like, oh yeah, you're not local. So yeah, and it's kind of like here too. Here in Idaho, they don't say Lava Hot Springs. I'm probably going to go, okay, well, thanks for joining us, Ghost Green Man. I appreciate it. It's always good to see you. And, yeah, I forgot what I was saying, to be honest. Okay, so. Oh, okay, so I gotta put this on there right. Yeah, so I spent some time in Kentucky, about 2 years, and that's actually where I met my wife. So yeah, I met my wife in Kentucky, or well, Cincinnati, which some people do think is part of Kentucky. Now I'm just kidding. It's across the river. But yeah, I was there, and I met Jenny and or Mrs. Chip. And long story short, it was not love at first sight for either one of us, and we both have admitted that. And I don't know, things just worked out anyway. Of course, now that I've been married for 25 years, I can honestly tell you she's the most beautiful woman I've ever seen. And I don't just say that because she's on here. I say that because I truly mean it. And I have a lot of respect for her because she joined the military later in life. It was never a plan of ours for her to be in the military. It was something that, I don't want to say spur of the moment, but it kind of almost was. But I am extremely grateful for her because, well, she didn't have to join the military. And the military has been really good to my family in providing opportunities for us. You know, they've got the greatest medical in the world. And my daughter, excuse me, I gotta drink something here. Because my wife joined when she was later, she didn't need her GI Bill. And they allow you to pass that along to a child or two, split it up. And the only kid that was really interested in going to college was my second oldest daughter. And so she's gotten the GI Bill, which has paid exclusively for her college, and very handsomely too. So I appreciate the military for all the things it's done for my family. It's really been a great blessing, and of course it doesn't come free. My wife's had to serve, and I recognize that, and I appreciate her for serving. And again, I'm not just saying that because she's on here. I'm saying it because I sincerely mean it. She didn't have to. So we got about 10 minutes left, so I'm going to try to get... I don't think I'm going to get the rest of these pieces on here, but I will try my best to, because I don't want to stop the stream not having it done. But here's the deal. I've been switching in between this and the new roller coaster, and that's been my live stream, been alternating between the two. So most likely tomorrow night, which actually not most likely, I'm going to make a commitment right now. I will do part 3 of the roller coaster tomorrow. And as an update for those who have been watching, I did receive all the pieces for the Mills plates for this docking bay 327, and I've put them together. There's 18 32 by 32 studs, or 10 inch by 10 inch, and so it's 30 by 60 inches. And I did do some measurements, and the Ultimate Collector Series Millennium Falcon will fit in there, and there is enough room to do more, and that's why I'm going to do, but I want to have as much as I can. So that's why I'm going to have multi-level. There's going to be a level below the docking bay, and that's going to have a lot of like different scenes from the movie. And there's a little bit of room in the back, and I am most likely going to do the tractor beam part where Obi-Wan Kenobi shuts it off, because if I do that, then I'll have the bottom section as like a drop like it was in the movie. So most likely that's what's going to go back there. But I still, this project's still kind of fluid, and I built this project to be fluid. And the reason why is because my group, we attend a lot of train shows, and when we attend a train show, we're expected to have trains for obvious reasons. And so where the turbo lasers are in the front, I made them removable, and by making them removable, that allows my group to throw some train track down real quick, and then it becomes a train display. And then for those shows that we don't have trains, well, the tracks get pulled up, and what do we have? We've got enough room for a train running right down in the front of it. So that's why I built it that way. Well, that's why I'm gonna build it that way. I haven't got that far yet. I hope that all that made sense, because I have trouble speaking what I'm visualizing in my head sometimes. I know that. It's something I've been told. And I don't know if it's because I'm a poor explainer or my brain just thinks too fast and I can't get it out. I'm not sure which one. Or I could just be plain senile, which is always a possibility. I don't argue. It's kind of like when someone says, "Hey, you're being an a-hole." You don't argue, "No, I'm not," because they're not checking in with you. They're just telling you. And that's okay. Because if that's what I'm being, that's what I'm being. If I'm being senile, I'm being senile. All right, let's see. All right. Managed to get about 90 minutes. Okay. Why not Vader Kenobi fight? Yes, and that is going to be part of it. Because I'm going to have the docking bay, and then on the lower level I'm going to have that. I'm going to have the elevator to the command room where the stormtrooper tells them they got a bad transmitter. So yeah, I'm planning on having a bunch of that stuff. And let's go ahead and let's see if we can get this part in, because we only got a few more minutes, and then I'm going to stop because there is another person who has signed up for a live stream, and I do not want to take any of their time at all. And thank you very much for everyone who has showed up. And if you would, hit the like button, but only hit it if you're being honest that you liked it. I'm not asking you to like something you don't like. If you don't like it, hey, just leave it alone. Or if you really don't like it, hit the dislike, but hopefully you don't. And I do live streams a couple times a week. I do videos, product reviews. I do a lot of different stuff. And it's just basically because I want to promote this hobby. And I do like hearing from you guys in the comment sections. I do respond to most comments. And I try to delete as many of those stupid robo things as I come across. And you'll notice that in my streams, I don't swear that much. And that's mainly because I got a 4-year-old granddaughter who watches my channel almost religiously. And so the last thing I want to do is teach my own granddaughter some words that I know my daughter wouldn't appreciate. It's not that I don't swear, and it's not that I don't think swearing's funny at times. I sure do. But I got to be respectful of the fact that this did originate as a child's toy, so not in addition to my granddaughter watching this, I know that other small children do get on here because they just see a cool Lego set that they want. And so they're going to come on here and watch it because they're going to see a thumbnail. And the last thing I want to do is be that Jerry Seinfeld episode where he teaches that kid all those cuss words. So anyway, yeah, I'm not going to do that. Well, guys, it's time for me to pass the torch to some other person that signed up for this. And I don't know who's next. I apologize. But there is a schedule online. And if you want to check it out and see the next person, please do. But thanks for stopping by. I certainly appreciate it. Be good to each other and stay safe out.